Let's start with a simple question. How much would you pay for a car? For most people, buying a car is one of the biggest purchases they will ever make. Maybe $30,000. Maybe $50,000. Some luxury buyers might spend $100,000. But what if the price wasn't $100,000? What if it was $100 million? It may sound unbelievable, but throughout history, certain automobiles have become so rare, so historically important, and so desirable that collectors were willing to spend extraordinary amounts of money to own them. In fact, some classic cars have sold for more than private islands, luxury mansions, and even small companies. These vehicles are not just transportation. They are rolling pieces of history, symbols of engineering, design, and the golden age of motorsport. Today, we are counting down the 15 most expensive cars ever sold. From legendary Ferraris to historic racing machines, these cars shattered auction records and became some of the most valuable automobiles on Earth. And by the time we reach number 1, you'll hear about a car that sold for more than $140 million. Let's begin 15. Ferrari 275 GTB/4 NART Spider. We begin our list with one of the rarest Ferrari convertibles ever produced, the Ferrari 275 GTB/4 NART Spider. This beautiful car was created in the late 1960s and designed specifically for the American market. Only 10 units were ever built. Because of that incredible rarity, collectors have always been fascinated with the model. One example sold at auction for $27.5 million. For a car that originally sold for only a fraction of that price, the appreciation is astonishing. But the NART Spider isn't just valuable because of its rarity. It also represents a special moment in Ferrari's history, when Italian engineering met American enthusiasm for high-performance sports cars. And that combination created one of the most collectible Ferraris ever made. 14. Ferrari 290mm. Next on our list is a legendary racing machine from the 1950s. The Ferrari 290mm. Built for the famous Mille Miglia endurance race, this car represents one of the golden eras of motorsport. Under the hood was a powerful V12 engine designed to deliver exceptional speed and endurance. The car was driven by racing legends and quickly became one of the most iconic Ferraris of its time. Decades later, collectors recognized its historical importance. At auction, the car sold for over $28 million. For many collectors, owning a car like the 290mm is like owning a piece of racing history. 13. Ferrari 335 seats S Spider Scaglietti. Ferrari continues to dominate the list with another legendary racer, the Ferrari 335 S Spider Scaglietti. This machine was designed for endurance racing and was one of the most powerful Ferraris of its era. With its aggressive styling and massive V12 engine, the 335S was capable of incredible performance in long-distance races. In 2016, one example sold for approximately $35 million. That sale placed the car among the most valuable Ferraris ever sold. Collectors admire the car not only for its rarity, but also for its connection to the dramatic history of 1950s racing. 12. Ferrari 250 GTSWB California Spider. Few classic Ferraris are as elegant as the 250 GT California Spider. Designed with flowing lines and an open-top layout, the car perfectly captured the spirit of luxury sports cars in the early 1960s. Only a limited number were built, and many became part of elite private collections. One particularly famous example once belonged to French actor Alain Delon. When the car was discovered decades later and brought to auction, collectors competed intensely to own it. The final price? Over $18 million. 11. Ferrari 250 LM, Another historic Ferrari makes the list, the Ferrari 250 LM. This car achieved legendary status when it won the 1965 24 Hours of Le Mans, one of the most prestigious endurance races in the world. Its victory made it the last Ferrari to win Le Mans outright for decades. Because of that historic achievement, collectors value the 250 LM tremendously. In recent years, one example sold for around $34 million. 10. Ferrari 250 GTO. Now we reach one of the most famous cars in automotive history, the Ferrari 250 GTO. Only 36 units were ever built, and every single one is considered a priceless masterpiece. The car dominated racing circuits in the early 1960s and quickly became a legend among enthusiasts. Over time, the 250 GTO became the ultimate prize for collectors. One example sold privately for over $70 million. But even that wasn't the highest price paid for this legendary Ferrari. 9. Mercedes-Benz W196. Moving away from Ferrari, we find one of the most historic racing machines ever built, the Mercedes-Benz W196. Created by Mercedes-Benz, this Formula One car dominated the 1950s racing world. It was driven by the legendary driver Juan Manuel Fangio. At auction, the car sold for $29.6 million, making it one of the most expensive racing cars ever sold. 8. Ferrari 412P. The Ferrari 412P is another rare racing machine built during the golden age of endurance racing. With its powerful V12 engine and stunning bodywork, the car quickly became one of the most desirable Ferraris among collectors. One example sold for over $30 million. 7. Ferrari 290M. Another example of the 290MM appears on the list due to its remarkable historical importance. These cars competed in some of the most famous races in the world. Because of their rarity and racing heritage, they command extremely high prices whenever they appear at auction. 6. Ferrari 275 GTB/C Special. This rare Ferrari is one of the most exclusive racing models ever created. Only 3 units were built. One sold for over $26 million, making it one of the most valuable Ferraris ever auctioned. 5. Ferrari 250 Testa Rossa, the Ferrari 250 Testa Rossa is another legendary endurance racing machine. Its name translates to redhead, referring to the distinctive red valve covers on its engine. One example sold for approximately $39 million, placing it among the most valuable cars ever auctioned. 4. Ferrari 250 GTO. Another Ferrari 250 GTO appears again due to a record-breaking sale. In 2018, one GTO sold privately for approximately $70 million. At the time, it became one of the most expensive cars ever sold. 3. Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe. Now we reach a truly historic vehicle, the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe. Only 2 units were ever built. In 2022, one of them sold for an astonishing $143 million. That sale made it the most expensive car ever sold in history. 2. Ferrari 250 GTO. Another Ferrari 250 GTO sold at auction for more than $48 million. The GTO remains one of the most valuable collector cars in the world. 1. Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe. And once again, the legendary Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe takes the top position. With its extraordinary engineering, rarity, and historical significance, the car became the most expensive automobile ever sold. The final price? A staggering $143 million. So the next time someone tells you a car is expensive, remember that somewhere in the world, collectors are spending tens of millions of dollars for the chance to own a piece of automotive history. Because for them, these cars are more than machines. They are art, they are history, and they are symbols of a passion that has lasted for more than a century. If you enjoyed this episode exploring the most expensive cars ever sold, be sure to follow the podcast for more incredible stories from the world of luxury automobiles, hypercars, and legendary machines. And in our next episode, we'll explore the rarest hypercars that only billionaires can buy,